This is Bold TV.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, viewers. Welcome to another episode of Bold TV. Beautiful, outstanding ladies with disabilities, where we discuss issues related to disabilities and disability matters. This program comes to us every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. It's powered by Bold Heart Initiative. I have an interesting topic for us today, and I have a guest in the house and my other co-host. But before I move forward, I would like the ladies in the house to introduce themselves by a way of name, location, type of disability, and what they do. So I'll draw, first of all, before I move forward, happy July, because today is 1st of July. So I want to say happy July 2023. So I move forward to let the ladies in the house introduce themselves. I'll start by myself so that from there I'll go to the guests and other co-hosts. So I'm Osaki Teresa Georgie. I reside in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Polio's warrior, work with Fair Care Foundation, a member of Bold Heart Initiative, and also a disability rights advocate. I'm so glad to be here.
Hello. Yes, my name is Joy Bestman Ikulugan Esquire. I reside in Abuja, and I'm physically challenged. I'm a legal practitioner.
My name is Abiomton. I'm a medical lab scientist based in Peru. I use a wheelchair for spinal cord injury, and I'm a member of Bold Heart Initiative.
Good morning, beautiful ladies and our other viewers. My name is Constance Onyemechineka. I reside in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. I'm a person with albinism. I'm a disability and inclusion rights advocate, founder and CEO of Women and Girls with Albinism Network, and it's great to be here once again. Thank you.
My name is Ishola Omotola Elizabeth. I reside in Ede, Osun State. I'm the Women Coordinator for Joint National Association of Persons with Disability Osun Chapter. Also National Treasurer for Albinism Association of Nigeria. I'm a lecturer. Thank you.
Aisha Galadima. I stay in Port Harcourt here, Uji Estate, and I'm a minister of the gospel.
And your type of disability?
Spinal cord injury.
Okay, welcome, madam. Thank you very much for coming.
Good morning, everyone. Happy New Month. Welcome to July. My name is Frankie Andrew Essien. I'm based in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury, identify as a woman with disability, and the Edie of Fair Care Foundation, a member of Bold Heart Initiative, and a public health practitioner. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Frankie. So back to today's topic, it's motherhood and disability. Now we are bringing up this topic because of in commemoration of Mother's Day, 14th May. That's like a month after. So we want to talk about it this July, and we want to tell the public and other women how women with disability cope when it comes to motherhood. A lot of questions is cycling around there, and people just have a lot of disbelief system. But by the time we share our experiences and stories, we know that motherhood and disability is possible and is sweet and is interesting. No matter what, it's not just you having a baby. As long as you can care for the child, a lot of things goes through when you're a mother. And it might not be a biological child, but if you can raise a child, you're a mother. The question will focus more on our guests and my also co-host will answer too. Like my first question is, as a young girl, let me ask myself, as a young girl with a disability, what runs in my mind when I hear the word motherhood? When I was young, I had polio at an early age, and that was like infant. Growing up, life generally is in between. It's not so sweet. So now being a mother was something else that I won't really say I was scared, but it was not too exciting because I was just looking at the things I cannot do, forgetting the things I can do. But now that I'm a woman, I'm like, why was I even scared that time? So it's really, really not a big deal, but it's something that you take one step at a time. So I'll throw this question back to Afyong. Afyong, can you just answer this question that as a young lady, I know you had your disability as a young adult, early adult. So through this journey of life till now, when you come across motherhood, what comes into your mind? Is it fear, or was it like exciting to like, okay, let me try it, or something else?
Yeah, okay, at the very beginning of this disability journey, the thought of motherhood seemed like a dream that had gone up in smoke, like something that may never, I would never get to experience because of some of the complications of my type of disability. So, but in time, over time, yes, there was fear, there was some anxiety, but over time, I was able to, with knowledge, after acquiring knowledge, finding out, what can be done, what is available, what help is available, it kind of eased some of that fear, and I'm actually looking forward to raising a family of my own.
Thank you very much. Constance?
My own disability is follow comes. So
It's follow come.
albinism is genetic now, so it's follow come. For me, I think I see this motherhood. I view it from the angle of excitement and trepidation, fear. Excitement because I wonder how it would be like to have a child like me, a child that is very beautiful, like a mother, fair, beautiful. And the other parts when I talk about fear is what I've faced and what I know the child will still face because of what this society or how the society views it. And also fear from the angle of the monetary aspect, because taking care of a child is expensive, whether it is your biological child or not. It requires money. So to me, I look forward to being a mother someday, but this is how I see it now.
Great answer. So Frankie, that same question to you. I know you had your disability at an early adult age. So what comes to your mind now that you've gone so far with it?
Okay, thanks, Rafaki. So with respect to motherhood, since my concept of motherhood is not tied to it must be your own. So I've never had any reservation about reaching out to a child or doing the needful with respect to bringing up children. Maybe because I'm also the firstborn, so it doesn't faze me in any way. Instead, I think what I would say would faze me, or sometimes I wonder, is actually birthing one. It's a choice. And I already know how it's going to be done. Like, I am pushing out nothing. So it's not in the plan, it's not in my agenda at all. We shall be cut open. Thank you. So I just said, let me put that out there.
Thank you very much, Frankie. So let me go to the guests in their house.
I also had my injury at an early age, way back 98. And I actually did not, my My journey into motherhood just happened. It was not planned. I had no thought about it. I just, discovered that I was pregnant then. And since then, it has been beautiful. Although when I discovered that I was pregnant, there was this fear in me and in my family and those around me. Well, I decided I saw it as a risk, because then even the hospital I registered in had not taken delivery from anybody with disability before. So I was like the first patient in that hospital. So it was not an easy one, but I decided to take the risk. And today I'm happy that I really did, because it's a beautiful journey.
Wow, that's an interesting story. Thank you very much, Aisha. When you heard of motherhood, what went to your mind?
When I heard of motherhood?
Yes, with disability.
Okay, when I was growing up, it wasn't that strange to me because I'm the youngest in my family. So as at that time, there were a lot of children around me, from my elder ones, cousins, friends. So I was looking forward to even having my children someday. So it wasn't shocking to me.
All right. Thank you very much, Joy. That's a beautiful one. So I'd like the ladies in the house to also throw up their questions. I would like Afion to please take the next question on towards our guests.
Okay, now that we've kind of laid the foundation, I'd like to ask you, Aisha. It's good to have you with us today. I'd like to ask you, what was it like for you, as a first-time mother? What was it like for you, being a mother for the first time? What was the experience like?
It was, how will I put it? It wasn't easy, sincerely. It wasn't easy because, first of all, when I discovered I was pregnant, my mom was very, very scared. And I was scared too. And
Aisha is frozen.
the point, even our family doctor, when we gave him the medicine, can you hear me? And when the result came out that I was pregnant, when relating with those, we saw that there was no confidence in him when he was talking. With his actions and his expression, we knew he was quick to refer me to another hospital. So we had to call, because I had my treatment and everything abroad. And I called my doctor there, who said when he did the surgery on me, he discovered that I will not be able to have kids. And so it was funny. And he made a statement. He said, if you want to adopt a child for Aisha, why don't you do so? I don't know why you Nigerians think adoption is a big deal. And my mom told him, I'm not talking about adopting a child for her. I'm telling you that she's pregnant. And I sent the results and all that to him. But that journey, I had so much love around me, so much pampering, so much care, and so much concern. Even though it was, how will I put it? I would not want to use the word embarrassing, because where I come from, my mom then was the founder of my church. And for her daughter to get pregnant outside wedlock, you can imagine the whole thing. The gossip. At the point, I thought, I called an auntie of mine and I said, I want to come and hide in your place because I could not face the congregation. But my mom told me something. She said, don't blame the child for what you have done. Your child is not illegitimate, but you and the man that got yourself into this are the legitimate people as far as I'm concerned. It sounded funny, but it's a deep statement. And she told me, you're getting pregnant is a confirmation that there's someone greater than the doctors. There's a report greater than the report of the doctors. If the doctors have written you up, and somehow she sees it as a miracle. So with that at the back of my mind, I walked, I moved around, went to church services and programs with my head held high, with pride and joy, with fulfillment within me. And when I got to 6 to 7 months, it wasn't easy at all. At least Frankie knows a little bit of this journey because then we're a little bit close, and the hospital I was admitted in was close to her house. And I got admitted for my 6th to 7th month. I stayed through till my 9th month. And at last, the journey came to a beautiful and a successful end. And today I'm proud to be a mother. It's something I will really encourage every woman with disability to experience. It's a beautiful experience. I would like to tell us, do not be scared. See, for you to want to give life to somebody, it's a beautiful thing. And I want to say something. Being a mother is not biologically having a child alone. You can give life to any child. The love you show to a child makes you a mother. That is my definition of motherhood. The love you give to any child, the support you and the care you give to any child makes you a mother. When Osake asked me how many kids, I told her 3. Biologically, I have 1. And something happened, I have 2. I added 2 to my 1. My cousin, Joy Bestman, is my cousin. I lost my immediate younger sister 5-6 years ago to domestic violence. And because she was a superintendent and a detective with the EFCC, the case became a federal case, and the authorities gave me custody to her children. And that's why today I am proud to say I am a mother of 3. I might not biologically give birth to the remaining 2 for my younger sister, but I have never differentiated from the 3 of them. Anybody who see me and see them, unless you are a family member or a close friend, you will not know that I am not their biological mother. And that is motherhood. That is the definition of motherhood. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Aisha. Joy, let me ask the same question to you. What are the challenges? I'd like you to focus on some of the challenges you have faced as a mother, especially as a woman with disability who is raising children. What are some of the challenges you have faced? And how did were you able to handle them?
So one of the challenges I faced as a mother, though as at the time of pregnancy, I never experienced all these pregnancy issues. As a matter of fact, most times when I'm pregnant, that's when I get stronger. I don't know how God is doing that, but I know whenever I'm pregnant, I become stronger. I will not throw up. I will not, all those pregnancy symptoms, I don't used to have them. Then, now, during pregnancy, a lot of people were thinking, how will this one do with pregnancy? Maybe the pregnancy will be rolling on the ground. But at the point of delivery, I was admitted at BMH where I had two-thirds of my children. Then I had the 4 of them through CS. And the CS was a very good one. In all, God saw me through. Then when it comes to caring for children, Osaki will testify to this. We played with toys a lot when we were growing up. When we were in Compassion Home, we play with toys a lot. So because of that play, I'm used to caring for children. I know how to take care of a child, when to attend to a child. So it wasn't that difficult. And secondly, as the last child of the family that gave birth to the first grandchild, my elder ones were there for me. They gave me so much attention, so much love. So they were the ones carrying the children, and the child, sorry. And the only time maybe the child will come to me is when I want to breastfeed the child. Because some of them got married very early and they were expecting their own. So at that point now, their last child is the one bringing a child. They had no option than to take care of that one in expectant of their own. So I don't think I experienced too much challenges. However, when I had my second son, due to 1 or 2 lacuna in my business, then I was still in school. I had this issue that took me to the hospital. And I was thinking it's just mere headache, antenatal stuff. But when I got to BMH, I was informed that I had BP. That the BP was 216 over 195. And that I must be on admission for them to check it. So I was on admission for about 3 months, from 6 months to 9 months, when I finally gave birth to the child. So that wasn't really easy. It wasn't easy. And when I had my third son, they miscalculated my EDD, which made me to enter labor. I've never experienced labor before. I entered labor and the labor was not funny. When I see the labor will say, no, kneel down. And you know, with the condition, I cannot be walking about. And I've been disturbing my doctor that I want to experience self-delivery. I want to push to know what it looks like. So my doctor said I should give a consent note, which I did. Then when I now entered labor, my elder sister was using me. She's a pastor. She was trying to use me to exercise faith somehow. She said, even if you had 2 previous years, you can deliver this normal. So we're doing practical. At some point, I could not endure it again. So a friend who happens to be a nurse came and said, you're looking at your sister, the show is out and you're still waiting for her. That was how I was rushed to the clinic. I was rushed to the clinic and I was the one now begging for the CS. I was the one now begging for the CS so that they should do it. And unfortunately for me, BMH was on strike. That was the period they were kidnapping doctors. So BMH was on strike. They had to refer me to a private clinic. But on the aspect of caring for them, it wasn't too difficult. I did not face so much challenges. I was doing it on my own. As a matter of fact, when I had my last child, I was now having a maid. So I have to manage my 3 sons alone and my house chores, plus my school. You know, that would not be too easy. So I was just managing everything until I gave birth. So it wasn't that difficult. And at all the time I had my children, my mother was on ground. I would just invite her, she will come over and take care of the children. Till when they get to 8 months, 1 year, she will go back to her house. So I think the major person that really helped me out in my childbearing is my mom. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Over to you, Ataki.
Thank you very much. Constance, if you are there, please go to the next question.
Okay, so my question, I'll direct my question question to Madam Aisha. You talked about your journey, throughout your journey, your pregnancy and childbearing. So did you encounter or did you ever hear of any superstition or myths surrounding a woman with disability and motherhood? So for example, I'll give you one that I know when it comes to women with albinism. People say as a woman with albinism, you can only give birth through CS, you can't give birth through vaginal delivery. That's one of the superstitious beliefs that surrounds women with albinism and motherhood. So for you, did you encounter any or did you hear of any of such myths or superstitious belief while you were pregnant and even before you got pregnant?
Actually, no, I did not. The only thing is the doctor advised that I deliver through CS. That he will not advise I go through canal delivery because of the disability. And he said, in case of any complications, since I don't have feelings in my lower limbs from my waist down, in case of any complication, it might not be detected and we might run into problems. So I did not, even if I'm a woman of, even though I'm a woman of faith, I keep deaf ears to such things. I did not. Nobody brought up touch.
All right. Thank you, Ma. Ms. Joy, I would like you to answer the question, please.
They were saying that because a person with disability, I'm going to give birth to children with disabilities. And that really affected me in my relationship. Because at that time, they believed that disability is contagious. So they were like, this one that is pregnant, she will give birth to another disabled child. The mother will suffer. You understand? So I think that's the only one I can remember.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Over to you, Saki.
All right, thank you very much, Constance. I don't know if our guest just came in due to network. Her name is Joy.
Okay. My name is Joy Ugogo. I'm from Delta State. I live in a community where they call Otorogu. I am a police survivor, a mother, and an hairstylist.
All right, thank you very much, Joy.
All right. So I'll start with your Motola. What are the challenges you have faced?
So, as a person with albinism, the challenges I faced as a motherhood, I came before I got married, before I even get pregnant. It was like, if you are pregnant, you give birth to someone like you. So I was scared. Even my husband, when we got married, we were like, hey, God, please. It's not that albinism is a bad thing, but the challenges the child will come to face as well. Because we are facing a lot of challenges in which we are just overcoming it. So we're like, oh God, how will it look like? What will it be? So thank God, immediately I delivered the baby. Many people that are not even my friends in the community, they were like coming to my house to greet me, not to congratulate with me, just to see the type of baby that I gave back to, whether the child is a person with albinism or a black person. Then secondly, it was like, if you can give birth to a person with albinism if you are menstruating and you make love with your husband. So those are the myths that we just have to stop people from saying, because all these things are not true. They are not true at all. As a mother with albinism, it's not that there's not much difference. The only two conditions that classify us, that categorize us to be a person with disability is just our sight and our complexion. Thank you.
But thank you very much for your contribution. I think Joy Bogo is off. So I think we'll just move on to the last question. So Frankie.
Thank you, Afyong, and thank you, Omotala, for sharing. Thank you, Aisha, also for sharing, and Joy. So the last question is pretty simple, and this is for everybody. and it's one advice that you would like to give on motherhood, either from experience or from the side of myths and breaking myths and misconceptions, or challenges or fears that a young girl with disability may be having, whichever area you feel, even policy issues, like issues around sexual reproductive health services, whatever area you would like to address at this point, you are free to. Just remember to keep it brief, and remember our focus for the conversation for this episode of Bull TV is motherhood and disability. So I would like to start with Aisha. What word would you like to say? Go ahead, please.
Thank you. What I would say is love yourself. If you love yourself, you can love another. If you love yourself, you can love every child. If you love yourself, you can love everything about that child. We are able-bodied women, as far as I'm concerned. Even the abled, okay, let me censor my word. Even the people who think they walk or they don't have any physical disability, whether we like it or not, we are all created to be beautiful in our own way, in our own different way. See yourself as somebody that is very beautiful, peculiar, and love yourself like that. And you pass through this thing like every other. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha. Aisha has said a key thing: love yourself, and you'll be able to love others. And that includes your children, whether they want to give birth to biologically or not. But it starts with loving yourself. And it is true, if you don't love yourself, trust me, you would now have a lot of bitterness maybe towards that child. So self-love and loving oneself is crucial, whether you're a lady with disability or not. Joy Bestman, Esquire, please share your last comments. Remember to unmute yourself and then go ahead and share.
Okay, thank you. I think my cousin has said it, but let me just add one or two things to what she has said. In as much as love is the key here, you as a person have value for yourself. And when you value yourself, you have self-confidence, self-esteem. Now, the same thing will be applicable to your children. Neighbors, friends will not look down on your children because they are giving birth by a disabled person or a physically challenged person. But rather, because of the way you carry yourself, they will carry your children. They will look at your children with the same eye. And you will not say, because of your state, you want to take care of your children, you will not discipline them. You discipline them. And as you discipline them, you bring them back. My last word is, as a person with disability or a woman with disability, don't be bitter at yourself. Because once you don't love yourself, like my sister said, and you're bittered, you will transfer that bitterness to the innocent children, which will affect them greatly. I think that's my take on that.
Well, thank you very much, Pastor Joy. Thank you for sharing those three key things. Have value, and then do not use disability as an excuse to give birth to men that have no home training. And finally, she talked about the spirit of love. Omotala, you saw how everybody did it briefly to the point. One word, one counsel, and it really can be to anybody. So go ahead.
I want to add to it that let's see this as something enjoyable. It may be tedious at the beginning, like chewing or eating of bitter leaf. Now, when you start eating bitter leaf, when you start eating it, at the end you see that it tastes sweet. That's how the motherhood is all about. So let's just sum up courage. Let's keep it up. Let's stand on ourselves. Let's care for our children as well. Whatever children we give back, either biologically or by adoption, let's take good care of them and discipline them well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So she's talked about taking care of your children, and then she talked about the importance of not being afraid by seeing it as a bitter pill. Afyon, what word would you like, or counsel would you like to drop?
I think motherhood is just another challenge like the disability journey. So if you have been able to overcome and you're coping with your disability, I think that same mindset you should use it to tackle motherhood the same way. If you have fears, it's okay to be afraid, but don't wallow in your fears and allow ignorance. More often than not, fear is fueled by ignorance. What you don't know and understand, you tend to be afraid of. So seek knowledge, get information. You hear myths, superstitions, find out, is it true? Question your fears, doubt your doubts, get information, find out from others who have done it, who have been successful, and let them also tell you, this is how it is. Everybody will pass through one challenge or the other. Motherhood is just another one. And I believe we are all well able to overcome it and enjoy the journey as we go on.
Awesome. Thank you, Apyeong. And this platform has offered an opportunity for you to learn something about motherhood and disability. And it's important for you to, if you need to go back and watch again, please do, because so much has been said. And you have met women with disabilities, different types of disabilities, who have brought forth biologically, and those who have adopted, and those who are caring for children and experiencing motherhood in different forms. And so before I turn it back to Osaki to wrap up this episode, for me, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say something very crucial, and that is, if you sit down and don't do, then you won't have. If you sit down and write yourself off, and then it would likely not come to you. If you have agreed within yourself that you can never, and then that's the truth, you probably never will. But motherhood, by way of biologically or adopting or whatever, is something you want to experience. And then, as I would say, go for it. Nobody can discriminate against you and say that because you're a woman with disability, that you cannot be a mother. I need to put that out there. That would be discrimination, and you can actually challenge it in the courts because of the laws in the land, especially in the Persons with Disabilities Discrimination Prohibition Act. So know that if you infringes on your right to participate in that space, or your choice in making that decision, the person is infringing on your right, and that is going against your rights. The second one I would like to add is that for those who offer sexual reproductive health services, it's time to wake up, especially at primary health centers, to ensure that we're inclusive in providing the necessary. Women with disabilities give birth to, women with disabilities have children. So our antenatal, postnatal care, all of that must be inclusive. And then finally, I like what Afyong said, question your fears, doubt your doubts. Don't allow myths and misconceptions to determine your life. Thank you. Osaki, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Freki. Okay, my last word here is, by virtue of you being a woman, to all of us, we are mothers. With biological child or without, we are all mothers. So just embrace it. Motherhood is a gift. It's what we should all hope to experience and enjoy it. Motherhood is a gift. So I want to say, ladies, thank you very much for showing up to this Bold TV program. Before I will leave the house, I want to ask, solicit for those to support the program and they enjoy it. And in case you want to participate, because I did say that earlier on, you can call on the 5 women that are always on the program, and call on Freki, Afyon, Constance, Grace, Tomisi, and I. Who will direct you to the program you could attend if you want to participate. And out there for our audience, you can support us by subscribing our YouTube channels on the screen, our Facebook page, share our episodes, comment as much as you can. Let it go wide, because what we are saying every Saturday, it's something to encourage either a woman with disability or a woman without disability, something that the world should hear. So after ladies in the house to unmute their mic, and let's just say motherhood before we go for today. All right, so can we just say a word of motherhood? Motherhood.
Motherhood.
But
Alright.
we didn't say bye. We said motherhood. Oh, okay, motherhood.
I said motherhood.
I don't know. I was about to say bye. I said, hey, I had motherhood.
Thank you everybody. Thank you all our audience for watching and always share our program. Thank you very much.
All right, bye. Let's say bye, Simona. Bye.
This is Bold